Davis book banning law hilariously backfired and got the Bible banned at the elementary and middle school levels in the second largest school district in the state. Here's why the Holy Scripture is not fit for young students. The Bible is banned in these Utah elementary and middle schools now for vulgarity or violence. Davis School District's Book Review Committee made the determination, though it's already being appealed by another parent. This comes after a parent filed a complaint in December 2022 claiming that Utah's book ban law made it easier to request that the Bible be removed from school for its sex-ridden content. How dare it? Parents thank Utah for book banning law that makes it so much easier to challenge the sex-ridden Bible. The parent in the complaint said the Bible contains incest, onanism, bestiality, prostitution, genital mutilation, fellatio, dildos, rape, and even infanticide. A review committee looked into it and decided to side with the parent on account of all those things is in there. Yeah. Christopher Williams, Davis School District's Director of Communications, said that the review committee, quote, decided to retain the book in school library circulation only at the high school level based on age appropriateness due to vulgarity or violence, close quote. The complaint was originally just to mock Utah's absurd book ban law, and now middle schoolers and elementary school kids can't go read the Bible, which if they were doing, they probably shouldn't. They should go out and play, and make friends. But a little about that law. The 2022 law, which is also called the Sensitive Materials in Schools Act, bans books with pornographic or indecent material from schools and school libraries. Critics say the law unfairly targets books with LGBTQ themes and authors of color. Of course, some religious hypocrite who has no issues with kids reading about sex graphically in the Bible has challenged this new decision. An appeal was filed on Wednesday by an individual who wants the Bible retained at all school levels. Give it to the kindergartners, the district's online database for book challenges shows. But there are some hurdles before elementary and middle school kids can read the Bible in school again. And where else will they get access to it? At home? Oh yeah, there. Quote, it will now go to an appeals committee consisting of 3 members of the Davis School District Board of Education. That committee will then make a recommendation to the full Board of Education whether to retain or remove it from school library circulation. The board will then make the final decision. Oof, very intense, very intense. Utah, banning the Bible. Is this a principled stand that will bring the end of book bans, at least in the state? Or is it a clever ploy to just increase access to only the Book of Mormon? A little twist on the story, Cenk.
Yeah, well, look, I'm going to give Utah credit, Davis School District in particular. They offered up the banning the Bible as part gag, right? And part, we are banning books. It is one of the most violent and sexual books there is. And Davis School District took it seriously, and they looked at the Bible. They read the Bible, apparently. They're like, whoa, yeah, that's some heavy stuff, man. I don't know that middle school and elementary school kids should get it. So score 1 for consistency and being principled. So here on that. And if you're wondering, look, we give the Bible and Jesus a lot of credit on this show. We just talked about it in an earlier story. And New Testament has wonderful parts. Sermon on the Mount is terrific. Love that Jesus threw out the money changers from the temple, etc. But it's got some troublesome parts. And the Old Testament is a horror show. And so, like, for example, I'll give you an example. And you tell me if they made the right decision or the wrong decision, okay? So in the Sodom and Gomorrah story, a mob comes to Lot's door and demands to rape the angels inside. You go, wow, okay, man, Sodom and Gomorrah, they had some issues, okay? So Lot comes up with a compromise. It makes sense because he's a godly man and he's saved at the end of that story. He says, don't rape the angels. Instead, rape my daughters. What? Okay. In fact, so I looked it up just to confirm, because even though I've said that story many, many times, but I wanted to find a website that talked about it, preferably a religious site, and I found one that asked this question: why did Lot offer up his daughters to be gang raped? Well, that is a good question. Let's stop here, but probably not for elementary school. So I agree with Utah.
Yeah, I mean, and in that same very story, what was the city basically? Because it was like Bronze Age Las Vegas, and God ended up like dumping a giant cauldron of lava onto the city, and someone turned around and turned into salt. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Old Testament, God stays destroying everybody. You know what I'm saying? They're gambling too much. There's too much prostitution going on in this town. I'm just gonna murder everybody. You know what I'm saying? There's so much of that, and you pointed. I wasn't even thinking about that part of the story, which is incredibly. I mean, let's face it, that's gross. That's disgusting. It's insane. What was it? No, some other guy in the Old Testament whose daughters ended up getting him drunk and then sleeping with him. You know, the walls of Jericho tumbling down. Was everyone in the city of Jericho evil? You know, they walked around it for 3 days. So, in a lot of ways, yeah, that's right. If you want to take a look at it, like, yeah, this book has an insane amount of violence and sex in it. And like you pointed out, especially the New Testament, you can't get enough of it.
Yeah, in the Old Testament, yeah, and it was Lot's wife. And, you know, people say, oh, well, she didn't listen to God who told her not to look back, right, as he was murdering everyone in the town. I'm like, okay, so a slight transgression. Like, oh, hey, I wonder if I left something behind. Lot, there you go. Well, is that
salt?
Okay, it turns into salt. Gone.
But the Bible is, you know, very low on gay sex. And I wonder if there's something there. I wonder if that's why conservatives don't want that book banned, but they do want books that just have a sentence that says, like, Sally had 2 dads. That's salacious content. Please give them the book instead where the guy offers his daughters to be raped, because that's some straight sex right there.
At least you got that going. I mean, at least that, you know. So
it's unbelievable. They banned a book in one of the other places, not in Utah, where it was 2 penguins that were males that were not lovers. Because it's important that penguins are not gay, okay? But they took care of a baby penguin together because they were decent penguins, I guess. I don't know what the morality of penguins are. And people are like, ban it. But the raping of the daughters, etc., totally okay. And by the way, here, I'll give you another one, because there's endless in the Old Testament. So at one point, God tells the Israelites, hey, go trick another tribe. I forget which tribe. And tell them, okay, you can have our daughters, okay, as long as you do circumcision. And the minute they do get rid of their foreskin and they're in tremendous pain, they'll be weak. Go murder them all. And they did. And God's like, way to go.
The story of Job. I'm just going to destroy his life for fun.
Okay. Look, guys, there's you can take wonderful things out of the Bible. You can take terrible things out of the Bible, okay? But when you start banning books, the Old Testament's got to be near the top. I mean, if you're worried about the children, what about children? Would you talk to your children about any of this stuff, right? So keeping it real. But so did Utah. Again, credit to them.
No, Jake. No, the Bible does not have penguins getting along. And I don't know if we could deal with that. Plus, part of the ban must have been that a penguin itself is black and white living in harmony. And nobody wants that, and who supports anything good.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Is there a penguin heaven? Is there a lion heaven? And do you get into it for eating more animals or less animals? Okay,
All penguins go to hell. All penguins go to hell.
You write that book, it'll be in every red state. That's the first thing they should give you in the library. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you got to do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.
What is the real story of January 6th? Many people have asked that question. Some people have described what happened on that day as an...
I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect, preaching his word in truth and sincerity. And to you ribs, to you sisters out there, learning in silence and staying in order. Right? As you saw, the Bible ban in Utah backfired on Republicans, right? And well, these two idiots over here mock the Lord and, in the Bible, and right, and how much good came out of, the Bible, that it changed millions of lives. Millions of lives. A lot of people stopped killing. A lot of people stopped drug dealing. A lot of people stopped and sacrificed their entire life due to the book, in which they are mocking and, just casting to the side. What we know is prophecy, the book of Amos. The famine of the word is coming, man. This is all happening so quickly. All the prophecies are almost coming at the same time, like the last prophecies. Why is that? Because the devil knows that he got but a short time, right? He can't be hipping people, right? If the book out there, the believers can refer and reference back to what not to do, right? So when you remove the moral compass of people, you then have them, subjugated and, basically for prey. You just basically throwing them to the wolves, like, figure it out. That's the plan, right? Because the people without morals and guidance and or knowledge of self cannot succeed, cannot defend themselves, right? Call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahushai for allowing this to be seen and done in a fashion, in a timely fashion, in which, we with the people who are awake, the Israelites that are awake, can see this coming and been talking about this for a really long time. A real long time. And now we get to see it. And it's a beautiful thing. Man, I ain't gonna lie. When I found this out, they were doing that, in a sense, I was happy, because I knew that we're that much closer to the end, right? Because knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of our times. We have to, learn all the things that we need to learn. If you're new, this is the time to learn as much as you can, and, let that sink in, as they say. Let it sink in, because that's what's going to keep you from taking the C-hip and, going off and all these other things that are detrimental to your life, man, literally. So this is why this is a big major deal, right? We just got, Elon Musk brain chip being now being okay to be used on people, right? We're that much closer to the end, right? Because the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy, man. And this is what we see, right? We believe, right? We believe in the scriptures, and we believe in our teachers that taught us the scriptures, because the Lord is dealing with them. And they've been telling us these things, right? And here I am trying to spread that to you all, what I've learned. Hopefully I could gain, or I could help gain one of you for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai's purpose. Right? And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.